So good, so good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight to One Hub Racing. It's round two here at the circuit, Paul Ricard here in France. My name is Sam. I am your commentator for this evening. We should have Daniel joining soon. He's eating his dinner, so there's a little delay for that, but he should be here very soon. So apologies for any sort of delay that we may have. But yeah, I will be your main commentator for tonight, so happily we have got me, and hopefully we should have a good evening tonight and not have any interruptions like last week. I'm just trying to get some information up right now to make sure that I've got everything covered, so do not mind me for a few seconds. Alright, so that's all sorted now. So firstly, I'd just like to say, obviously, the winner last week was Gus Fring, who was the winner of the first race of the season. Is Gus in the lobby at the moment? No, he is. Oh, yes, he is. There he is. The Swiss driver winning on his debut in One Hub last week here in the Prospect tier with a dominant victory, I have to say the least, at Circuit de Zandvoort. And obviously he's looking to build that momentum on to next week, which is this week, of course, which will be the French Grand Prix, and 15 corners around the circuit. Paul Ricard, not a fan favourite for many. There are a few people who do still enjoy this circuit, but this is a circuit that isn't fond among the drivers, among the fans of Formula 1, so hopefully we can get better action than what we do usually get in real life. And as we're waiting, we can go through some things. We've got some pre-race interviews to go through. Unfortunately, only one person answered in the prospect here, which is quite unfortunate. That would be M4CC13, or Mackie. I'm assuming that is. So he answered all the questions. So question one was, how much practice do you do before a race? That would be time slash track dependent. So depending on what track it is, depends on how much practice he does. Question two was, do you practice both dry and wet conditions? Mackie replied, not as such, no. I might dabble around for a wet setup and try a couple of laps, but majority of my practice is dry running. How many safety cars will there be tonight? That is question 3, and he reckons there will be no safety cars. Well, for tonight he says no, but for tomorrow 3. So I'm assuming he answered this. Yes, he answered this yesterday. So a little bit of a joke there from Mackie, playing around with Dexter, who done the questions. But he reckons there'll be 3 safety cars tonight, which is an interesting one, I have to say. Hopefully not, because we want to have more racing action than stuck behind a car that's pacing the field up. And finally we had the question of what would be a good result for you in the race. Mackie replied, just finishing would be an improvement after last week. Of course, Mackie retiring, just like many did actually last week, in the difficult conditions in Zandvoort. And speaking of last week, we've got on to this week, and we finally have our co-commentator here. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Sam. Sorry for being a little bit late tonight, but I am here now, so I will be loading to the lobby soon.
Yeah, no worries about that. Of course, we all do have to respect that sometimes we have a little bit of things going on in life that delay us a little bit. I had the same issue as well, so no worry whatsoever with that one. I was just talking about one of the drivers who did do the pre-race interview. We only had Mackie who done that, so we move on to the team press conference now. Mercedes was called up for... I'm trying to have a look at what tier was called up for the prospect tier. It was just McLaren and Mercedes who were the team things for every tier. Sorry, I'm not used to this. Anyway, so Mercedes just said we are just good at what we do. A lot of the work goes on behind the scene in the operations. And sorry, oh my words, I'm so sorry. The question was still early days, but a good start in 3 of the 4 tiers, looking to dominate in one hub like real F1. And Mercedes replied, "We are just good at what we do. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes in the operation. We source the correct drivers, ensure we run the correct setups and strategies." So basically, Mercedes did dominate in 3 of the tiers. I'm pretty sure this wasn't one of the tiers which they didn't dominate, let's say, but we did see 2nd and 4th place from Aaron, JS, and Jamie Met. Only 9 finishes last race weekend in the tricky wet conditions around Zandvoort. Do you reckon we will have more or less DNFs?
I think with the new track and it being a crazy wet weather race, it is going to be a couple more people finishing. I think I've loaded in as a driver. That's an issue. I'll just retire though, and then I'll leave.
Hopefully the lobby doesn't break.
I'm
like
really hoping not, but I've just loaded into the session, and I'm a driver, so
well,
brilliant.
Do not worry about that at all. It happens. We all do things like that sometimes. However, it's fine. No worries. But I was just talking about how Gus obviously dominated last week and everything. Do you reckon that's some good confidence for him for next week? This week, sorry.
I definitely think that he will be flying high in this one. He finished so far ahead of anyone else, and I think this race will be a test as to whether he is in the right tier or not. Because of course he was so dominant that if he maybe has another performance just like that, it could mean that he could get moved up. I don't really know how it works, but he's definitely one to look out for, I think.
Well, we have seen many drivers over the years in one hub. We saw Iceman 2 years ago, who went on to dominate the podium tier, of course, a couple of years ago. We have seen drivers tend to have those moments where they do seem to dominate in their tiers. Respectfully, we saw Eva Hannon in a similar fashion last season in the podium tier, but most of these guys from the podium tier will be quite familiar, but there is a lot of guys who we are not familiar of and who are actually racing in one hub for the first time. Gus is one of those. We have obviously Adako racing for the first time this season, his 2nd race, but his race didn't go so well. But 3 of those DNF'd and 4 of those finished the race. I was just wondering, when you join a new league, are the nerves or is the pressure more on for those drivers who are coming in?
Well, I think it is definitely a little bit more unnerving to be joining a new league, because you've got all these people that they've been friends for a really long time. You're a bit of an outsider in their community, but luckily everyone in one hub has been so welcoming to all the new drivers, so they haven't had to worry about that. But it is definitely intimidating to join such a big league like one hub for the first time and make it with all these seasoned veterans in the grid.
Well, we had Liam 1-3, of course, one of one hub sponsors, finish in 5th place last week. That was a good result for him. We also had the returning Jamie Metz get 4th place, just narrowly missed off a podium there. For a returning driver or a new driver, which one would you say is more intimidating, would you say?
I think that being a returning driver is a bit... I think it wouldn't be as intimidating as being a completely brand new driver, because you still will have people that you know, and also that you've done so many races, you're going to have... you're going to be put on a pedestal a bit. You might be a bit more respected than others because you've won multiple races in one hub before.
Yeah, and obviously, of course, though, returning drivers may have that more pressure, as it seems, of course, because if they're a returning driver that has won races like Jamie has, I wonder if that affects him perhaps in where he wants to get this season. Anyway, as we are looking on board with Cloudy Balloons, as he has invalidated this just there. That's not what we like to see. I thought for a moment he was fine, but what about Enz? How's he doing on his lap? He's in the other racing point alongside Liam. Enz, of course, the magnificent creator of the task system, which OneHub does use as well, and he will be looking to fly the task system proud in this tier, and he's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Cloudy Balloons moving out the way here, but Enz going pretty strong on his lap right now as he does go into sector 3, and let's see what he can do. Very tricky, very technical through these corners. Enz going well wide there. He's still not invalidated the lap, so he's still allowed to go on. Very tricky, can understeer a lot through this section, and very easy to make a mistake around here on this lap overall, but in sector 3 especially, as he comes through to the final corner then. Quite slow out the exit, but let's see what he can get. And it looks like the first lap of the day that's going to be set is a 1:30.4, so not the best of laps from Enz, but there was a lot of time to make up.
Well, as Truth NRP goes across the line, he is 2 tenths behind, despite being actually quicker than Enz in the second sector. We've got some more cars coming across the line. Here's Indecisive Mac, unfortunately, he validated on his run, so he will be going again. And Majestic also invalidated on that run. So trying to find who's on a lap. I believe it is Darko be next up to cross the line. It's just coming through the last couple of corners around the final little hairpin there and onto the DRS straight. Can he beat IGK Enz on this lap? We'll have to find out, as now he crossed the line. He's ran out of ERS, and unfortunately for him it's a 1:31.2, so he's 8 tenths off of Enz.
I feel like something happened in that third sector. Looking at the times, of course, the third sector for Enz was much quicker than both of them, but I'm not sure actually what happened there for Adako. He was quicker in the first, he was quicker in the second and the third sector. His first sector, though, he really lost time, so I wonder if Adako had some sort of issue in the first sector there, which compromised his lap. Probably not an official lap put in yet, as I say that Zach Jarvis sets a 29.3. That's a good lap to start off with. But obviously he'll be looking to get that lap. Everyone will be looking to get those laps down as the track does get drier. Alex Lilliard then coming through the final 2 corners, not yet invalidated. However, I'm wondering if he's going again here. We'll just see him cross the line now. As Alex Lilliard does go with a 32.2. I wonder if he was just setting up for another lap since he's made a mistake. Who knows? Anyway, we've got Gazaman on a lap right now. Where's he gone through sector 1 as I just tried to look for him? He's green at the moment, of course, because it's his first lap, not purple. A 22.4 there, 2 tenths of Zach Jarvis, who has the fastest lap at the moment in sector 1, sector 2 and sector 3. However, Gazaman does go purple through sector 2 here, so he really needs to do well through sector 3. It's very easy to lock up here, very easy to make a mistake and go wide. Get a lot of understeer through here as he comes through the sweeping left-hander and then through to the right-hand side. And then, of course, 15 turns around here, 2 more to go. Turn 14, be careful not to understeer, take a lot of speed through there as well, though. And then turn 15. And then out of the exit, let's see what Gazaman can set as he runs up to the line then. Is it pole position currently? Yes, it is, beating out Zach Jarvis just about there by just over an 100th there of Zach Jarvis. So big ups to Gazaman. He's currently on pole position. What about his teammate then? He's just ended the sector 1 split and he says he's invalidated. I'm not sure if he has invalidated. We'll just stick on his lap, but he's gone red, so I believe that means he's invalidated his lap or something has happened to Cloudy Balloons. That is not, there's a glitch something there. It's saying that you are Cloudy Balloons and Cloudy Balloon, well, you're Cloudy Balloons too, for some reason. Anyway, Cloudy Balloons then, 22.3 in the first sector, 27.5 in the second sector. Comparing that to Gazaman, he is around a 10th off in the second sector, but in the first sector he's actually quicker. Zach Jarvis is on a quick lap as well, so be sure to we'll be sure to go on board with him just after. Well, he has the quickest first sector. It's not the quickest lap time, unfortunately. But Gazaman is out on the laps. That Jarvis is in the pits, but he has by far the quickest first sector over Gazaman, but he needs to improve the last 2 sectors. What about Cloudy Balloons then as he comes across the line? Is he going to beat Gaza? No, he's not. He's going to end up being 5th place, marginally behind. What about Nicky then in the Ferrari? P17 at the moment, yet to set a lap. He's gone purple through sector 1 and the first man into the 21s here. So Nicky looking very favourable to get the early pole position here with 9 minutes to go. As he goes purple through sector 2 as well, a 27.1 through there. So that is 3 tenths quicker than Gaza, who previously had the purple through there. So Nicky looking very quick through here. Could we see our first driver in the 1 minute 28s perhaps? As the Ferrari driver who finished runner-up last season in the podium tier, who didn't win a race. Maybe this is his time to shine, I wonder.
Well, through the final couple of corners, the Ferrari driver comes. It was certainly an impressive couple of sectors from him, but has he taken provisional pole from Gadaman 96? Both experienced one-hub racers, and there it is. A 28.3, that is a full second ahead of Gazaman there. What a lap from Nicky. That's one to be happy about.
That is a brilliant lap from Nicky. Just kept it calm all the way throughout, and a 28.3, that's a brilliant lap for the prospect here. I went for, I think I went for a 28.1 there, and this we know how the track evolution changes over the 18-minute qualifying session. You could be around almost around a second quicker on some tracks when it comes to the track evolution. So with that, Daniel, how important is it to actually get out there at the last second compared to everyone else?
Well, it is definitely going to be the most helpful feature of going out last. Going out last means that there's more rubber on the track, and I'm just watching Gus. He's locked up through the final corner. He was purple to the first sector. Last week's race winner, and he's going to cross the line. Can he beat him? No, he can't. Oof. Still 3 tenths off. It's close. But I definitely think going out last is going to be crucial for some guys' pole laps, especially if they are in that top 5 right now.
Yeah, well, Nicky, of course, looking to get his first race win. He'd be happy with pole position right now, but Gus causing a bit of a threat there to Nicky, coming up behind him. Of course, did show very much top pace in the race. In qualifying, not so much last week. However, we have to remember that qualifying was affected very early with rain. So Aaron JS got pole on that occasion, but arguably he only really got it down to the weather changing through there. This one looks to be fully dry, and in fact, it seems like the track may be warming up. Of course, and the skies are clearing as well, it looks like. It looks less overcast than what it was at the start of the session. Truth NRP then on a lap. Where is he right now? He is on. He did set his lap time on the medium tyres, his best one. However, he's on the softs now, so he should be marginally quicker. A 22.5 and a 27.2. And comparing that to those up front, it's not the best, but let's see what the podium sitter can do as he crosses the line. It's a 29.3, that puts him up to 3rd place. Truth finished 3rd place last week. Maybe he's looking to replicate that this week. We've got Kingan out on a lap right now, going through to the sector 1 and sector 2 split. Let's see what his sector 1 time is. A 22.4 there. So for Kingan, that's pretty decent. He's on a 30.2 right now. He would like to improve that, considering the pole time is a 28.3. A lot of these drivers would like to get desperately closer to that time that Nicky has set. That's a banging time for the prospect here, a 28.3. And not even Gus is close to it at the moment, but he will come out for one more go. And there we go, Aaron JS coming across the line at 28.4 there. So we are getting down to Nicky's time, but Nicky is still just clear ahead of everyone else at the moment.
Well, Aaron JS improved by 1.4 seconds on his first lap. Of course, that was on the medium tyres, which are quite a bit slower than the softs. If I actually just get the little bit of information that I need. for this week. The the medium drop off, is 1.2 seconds. So he actually found 2/10 on that lap just through raw pace. So it's a very nice time from him, from Aaron JS, but still cannot beat Nicky on that run.
Yeah, no one able to beat Nicky at the moment. However, Daniel, we are very close to the point where everyone will be shooting to come out to go on for one more shot, where the pressure technically is kind of on to set one more lap, but this is probably the best time to set a lap when it is your last go and it's your last run to prove that you've got the pace to go get pole position. Who's going to get it? I wonder. It could be anyone, Daniel.
Absolutely. If you are in that range of Nicky at the moment, I'd say you do have a good chance. Of course, only a couple drivers in that elite group. Gus and Aaron are the ones I see most likely to get past Nicky, but that doesn't mean that anyone else can't get snatch pole under the nose of the Ferrari driver's eyes and nose. Wait. At a moment there, sorry.
Well, I think all the top 5 or top 6 have good contention, but let's not forget though, it's a complete second these drivers behind have to find on the top 3, who are just miles ahead of everyone else at this current point. I wonder though if Gazzaman, Zach or Truth will close in. And Jamie, as we've got Stevie Hart here, but he's still yet to set a lap, and he is out at the moment. Really needs to set one soon, but he was lagging about all over the place there on the straight. So hopefully that is not an occurrence in the race. However, if you look at that, in Sector 1, Gus has the fastest Sector 1 time. Fastest Sector 2 is from Nicky, and the fastest Sector 3 is from Aaron. But overall, Nicky has the better pace over those two at the moment. So Sector 2 time is so much quicker than anyone else. As Stevie Hart going very wide there. Be careful, you get a lot of understeer of the exit of that corner. Stevie Hart got to cross the line. It's a 32.6 there, but he will have one last go if he would like, and he goes off the track, so I wonder if he's done enough for today. Zach Jarvis is the next person on a lap right now. Just looking at his Sector 1 time, he didn't improve on it. He was marginally down, so that's not good for Zach Jarvis right now in 6th place, looking to improve. He's not far off improving. He could be into the top 4. That'll probably be a good place for the McLaren driver. Through Sector 3, now we go. He did improve this Sector 2 time, so the Sector 3 is very important for Zach Jarvis. And can he move himself up to 4th place, or could he possibly get even higher than that? Perhaps beat Gus or Aaron or even Nicky, even though it seems a little bit unlikely at this current point. As he comes through to the final 2 corners then, and the final corner, how's he going to hook it up? That's a good exit from Zach Jarvis, and what time is he going to be looking at? It looks like he could be getting a 28.9, so that is the 4th driver into the 28s. He'll be happy with that, Zach Jarvis. However, he's got a long way to go, since all these guys are now coming onto a lap. Liam, Gazza, Truth, Nicky, Aaron and Gus will be looking to get onto the lap as soon as possible, and Liam and Gazza are already on their lap. Liam's already up through Sector 1, a 22.2 compared to his 22.3 last time out, so he'll be happy with that so far. However, let's see how his Sector 2 could do. He's got a bit of traffic ahead, could be a little bit of an issue. That's indecisive, currently on the back row of the grid, currently last at the moment. We're not going to count V8 Field, since V8 Field is the commentator. Well, we have Liam coming through Sector 3 there. He was down on his time there, so Liam not having a very good Sector 2 then. And the Racing Point driver will be eyes on, looking to finish this lap in the most positive way as he can. He's still got indecisive ahead. The dirty air in this game has probably put a negative effect to him. He's understeering quite a lot here, and indecisive, what's he doing? And Liam's lap has been compromised, and he'll have to go again. He'll be absolutely livid with that one. What about Gazzaman then? He'll be the next one across the line, and he'll be the first one actually to finish across the line then, as he comes through to the final corner. Let's see what lap time the Red Bull can do. And it looks like he'll be into the 28s as well, will he? Yes, he will. Just about. A tiny bit slower to Zach Jarvis. Those two have been very close to each other, but Zach Jarvis keeps his 4th place for now. Jamie Met then coming through sector 2. Let's see how he's doing on his lap. There's 2 other guys that perhaps are ahead of him, a McLaren and a Haas. I'm not sure. Maybe Alex Lilliart, and one of the McLarens has pulled over, so he's probably on that out lap at the moment, or has invalidated. Jamie Met then coming through the final few corners, turn 12, and then turn 13 as well, and then turn 14 and turn 15, left to right. Try not to understeer through there. It's good from there. And what about turn 15? Is he going to go wide? Some do tend to. Oh, he's sliding about off the exit there. And let's see what lap time he can do. He's out of VRS already. It's a 29.4, moves him up to 7th place, and that's where he's going to stay unless he does move down.
Just watching, coming through at 3rd sector, Liam 1-3, one of our sponsors, and Aaron JS are quite close together. I think Aaron, who was improving, he's a little bit held up by Liam, but of course Liam is on the lap, so he's off. Oh my word!
Gus
goes quicker than Nicky.
Well, 27.8. I went for a 28.1, Daniel, for the best lap, and I tell you what, Nicky smashed it. A 27.8 to get his pole position here in One Hub Racing. He still is looking for a win, Nicky. Is this perhaps the time he's going to get it? I tell you something now, that is a brilliant advantage for the Ferrari driver there. 4 tenths clear of 2nd place, basically, and 5 tenths clear of Aaron JS, also in 3rd place, and then just a marginal gap between them 3 and Zach Jarvis behind. But oh my word, we're in for a treat here between these 3, because these 3 could completely be battling all night long. But what a qualifying session for Nicky, who gets 1st pole of the season, and of course steals it this time from Gus again. So Gus still looking for the pole position, since it was stolen away by Aaron last week, but this week it's the other title contender, perhaps Nicky, who steals the pole position from Gus.
Well, Gus had pole for all of about half a second there, as Nicky just came out of nowhere to go 3 tenths quicker than anyone else in the session, and he's going to be really happy about that. He did not have a good race last week. He finished in 9th position, so this is really a true show of his pace. I think he's done his practice and he's pulled his socks off. I don't know who we're waiting for. I think it's VTR Storm who's in the pits right now. There we are. Hopefully I don't start the race, but if I do, I'll drive slowly but not too slowly, and I won't fight anyone, and then I will go in the pits and retire.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's not the case. We would like you to obviously stay in the box and not do a single lap. It looks like it's not going to be raining, says A Goat, so I'm not sure who that is on the grid, but they are saying that it's not raining in France, so that is brilliant news then, Daniel. So that means that we haven't got that chaotic rain to stop the action from being a bit more boring, because we know how the rain conditions on this game make the race a little bit subtle. However, we should be on for the full action here tonight. But Nicky, as we said, does get pole from Gus, and Aaron in 3rd place, Zach Jarvis 4th, and Gazaman topping out the top 5 then. We have Liam in 6th, Truth NRP 7th, Kingan in 8th, Jamie Met 9th, and Cloudy Balloons wraps up the top 10.
And I can confirm I'm not in the race. Brilliant there. So that is nice to see that I'm fine on that. It looks a little bit cloudy up in the sky. That could maybe hint at something later on in the Grand Prix. But it seems as if A Goat in the chat has confirmed that there is no rain. He could just be pulling our legs there, but hopefully we're going to see a dry race so we can really see the best out of all our drivers. We got, I believe, 17 runners on the grid today who will take the win.
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I think the top 3 are perhaps in good contention, but however, we have seen it in the past with Rosberg, Hamilton, we've seen it with Webber and Vettel, we've seen it many times in history in Formula 1, where teammates, where rivals, they've all decided to crash together. And, well, it could happen again, you know. Nikki, Gus, and Aaron could all take each other out, and at that point, I would say it's pretty much open for pretty much anyone to win this evening. So Zach Jarvis, of course, is the quickest outside that top 3, but of course you have Gazaman, Liam, and Truth hunting him down for the top 3 as well. But the top 3 should be able to get away from the rest of the field, going by their qualifying standards. However, race pace is a complete different thing. You've got to think about consistency, and you've got to think about tyre saving it as well. So the winner, in my opinion, I think Nicky shows great pace in the qualifying, but he needs to deliver it in the race, which he has struggled to do, as known from last season, where he has failed to win so far in One Hub Racing. So I reckon Nicky will win, but I do reckon that it'll be a close one.
It would be nice to see Nicky get his first win, or could Gus maybe make it 2 in 2 wins? Of course, he won on his debut race, so he's going to look to continue that momentum forward. I have an AI car on the track and I can't take control. Hopefully it causes no issues and just stays at the back and does nothing all race.
Well, yeah, hopefully that is the case. That'll be annoying if it's not the case, and obviously that wouldn't be your fault if that was the case, and I reckon you can actually take over it.
It's because I loaded back into the session and picked spectator.
Oh well. Well, we'll have to
it's
let
just
him
gonna
run.
have to stay there.
Hopefully he doesn't cause issues, like you said. If he does, that could be a bit of an issue, but no fuss. So Nicky then coming through Sector 3 to potentially take his first win in One Hub Racing. 27 laps of the Circuit Paul Ricard here for the French Grand Prix here in One Hub Racing. Round 2 of 10, and we are just about to get underway with this one. Should be very interesting one. We just wait for the lights. But before that, look at the tyre strategy there. Very mixed there outside the top 10 for soft and medium. Your AI picks the medium tyres. Remember, he will not be. He'll be doing. He'll be doing a one-stop medium hard, unfortunately. But everyone has to do a two-stop. Remember, and as you can see there, all these drivers seem to be opting for it. We did see last season in One Hub, drivers did actually come into the pits around lap 1, lap 2 to fit on a new set of softs and then go on to the hards at the end, or the mediums. But who knows what the strategies calls are going to be here. As we just wait now for the lights. They've been covered. That's not brilliant news, but 5 red lights are on. It's a long hold, and we do get underway for this French Grand Prix. Nicky gets a good start away from the line. I think it was Aaron who got a poor start there in 3rd place. He may be challenged by drivers behind. Everyone's moving about. That's because of this glitch. And Majestic is around. Speaking of drivers that are around, your AI has also got wing damage there somehow. And we got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Liam is up to 3rd, I believe. I'm not sure if that's completely true. No, it's not. I want to know who's leading right now. I think it's still Nicky who's still leading this race, but everyone's moving up and down. It's really annoying. But Nicky does lead this race. Gus in 2nd, Aaron in 3rd. So everyone has remained in position. Gaz has lost a couple of positions, as I presume, but I'm not too sure right now. There's a bit of a glitch going on. But look at this, Cloudy here behind Liam. So that is correct, actually, that Gaza has slipped behind. Cloudy made up a few places in 6th place there. But that was a decent start from most people. But Nicky still leading this race out of lap 1.
Well, as they're coming through at the end of the first sector right now, Nicky really did nail that start. Now he's got a really nice gap back to Gus already. He's got Aaron, JS behind him for company. The top 3 all stay in formation. I've got a little bit of a timing glitch saying that it's 1.67 tenths between Gus and Nicky, and it's not changing at all, so I think that's a glitch. Another glitch in F1 2020.
Well, we had to deal with it, I'm afraid, but I think it's fixed itself now, frankly. He's 7 tenths behind now, so Nicky actually pulled a really good gap there. Look at the top 4, how far they've gotten away from 5th place and behind. Liam now 1.6 seconds and counting behind Zach Jarvis, so a brilliant start for the top 4. And well, everyone seems to be in the right position, well, in the same position for now at the moment. This is what the French Grand Prix has to offer usually. However, we haven't really got too much action going on at the moment. Perhaps Truth closing in on the cloudy balloons, but we could see a little bit of a difference when the DRS does come into play. But Truth in 7th, Cloudy in 6th, and they are behind Liam in 5th place right now. Gazaman did drop down to 8th, so Gazaman didn't get really a good start. Looking at the position change then, look at that then. Cloudy making up 4 positions on the first lap. That's brilliant to see for Cloudy, who was struggling at the end of last game since he did move to wheel from the pad, and he has moved on now, and he's doing well right now with the wheel at this current point. Gazaman dropped down 3 positions there, so that's not what he would have loved to see. He was probably one of the worst starters of today. VTR Storm is that who's gone round there at the back in 17th place, so unfortunately for him, he will have to come into the pits and possibly put on a new set of tyres, since these softs, well, he's not on softs, he's on mediums, but if he was on softs, they don't go the distance. Anyways, looking further forward then, we do have Zach Jarvis 7 tenths behind Aaron JS. Aaron JS falling a long way behind Gus, and Nicky not getting away from Gus at the moment in the lead. The top 2 separated by 6 tenths at the moment. That has closed in by a small amount. There's a purple sector 1 for Gus at the moment, so he's doing very well as it stands. But at the moment, both of them are both cruising away from Aaron at this current point, and Aaron may have Zach Jarvis for company very soon. Truth and Cloudy are battling. Let me just see if I can get over to that. And Truth has tried for the position on Cloudy but has just missed it. And Aaron JS, as the task system says, he did start in 3rd place at the start of the race, so he has maintained his position there. And Truth then trying to close on Cloudy, but he's just not closing in enough, and he has actually gone a little wide there, has opened the door a little bit for Gazaman behind, but from the start, it's not really the most electric starts, is it, Daniel? But it seems to be going pretty strong for some drivers, probably a little bit off for others.
Well, Liam 1-3 coming to the pits already on lap number 4, just at the beginning of it. Crucially now, as of lap 3, the DRS has come into play. That is going to bring Gus in towards Nicky just a little bit. So if Nicky wants to really make a solid gap, he's got to get out of that 1 second window. And just want to look at the ERS that Gus and Nicky have. Gus almost full, but Nicky has been really using it all up. They've got a great big gap already of 2.1 seconds back to Aaron, who's feeling the pressure from Zach Jarvis. But I'd say at the moment the most interesting fight is for 5th position between Cloudy, Truth and Gaza.
Yeah, I would definitely say so too. We know how much these tyres do tend to go off, and look at this though, actually Truth looking to go to the outside, and he's got the position done on Cloudy Balloons there, so up to 5th place goes Truth. NRP looking maybe to get a podium, but I doubt it, as he has fallen quite behind Zach Jarvis and Aaron JS. However, he has cleared of Cloudy now, and let's see what he could do with the clean air ahead of him. I just want to update your AI has started rather strong ahead of VTR Storm there at the back of the grid. But oh well, let's not worry about that too much. Kingan's joined the fight, and Kingan's got the move done, has he? He's moved to the inside, but he's just not sneaked it out. And look at that, he's changed his mind and he comes into the pits. So they noticed that Liam came into the pits, and they know how powerful the undercut potentially is here. Remember, you got to do a 2-stop, so Liam's opting for the medium. So this is a soft, medium, soft, I suppose, move that Liam is going for, and I'll be surprised if it is a soft, medium there. And as Badgerman does say, commentating racing V8 field does it all. So yeah, you're doing all the things at the same time here at the moment, Daniel, so that is brilliant news for you. Yeah, hashtag multitasker, says Jess in there. So yeah, pretty insane multitask you got there. I think I should learn how to do that, not gonna lie. But anyway, Gazastappen, I really need to know who Ago is. Gazastappen, P4, I mean, that has become a frequent name that I've heard. I want to know where the origin of that is. I'm assuming that's because he's always in Red Bull, but I also really want to know where that's came from and who Ago is. Anyway, the two leaders then I would have assumed would be coming in this lap, the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo of Gus and Nicky. Nicky opts to stay out, Gus opts to go in then. So this is going to be the undercut versus the overcut then for Gus and Nicky. Zach also favouring the pits. What about Gaza? Has he favoured it? Yes, he has. So I wonder where Liam's going to come out now. So let's just hop on board with him. He's coming through Sector 3 now, so this is going to be interesting here. The pit lane is quite long at this French circuit, and the undercut here could work an absolute treat for Liam at the moment, because Liam at the moment looks rather encouragingly good to come out ahead of both Gaza and Jamie there. So very convincing fashion. However, look at who's just come out. Zach Jarvis is quite clear of the Racing Point driver again, but we won't know really until how much is picked up until the two in front now. Well, actually no, the one in front now, Nicky, comes in. Has Nicky made a mistake here, Daniel, here by staying out an extra lap to Gus, or do you think this is actually a golden plan here for Nicky?
I'm a little bit confused why he hasn't pitted already, considering the life of the softs around this track is already pretty low. It's about what, 9 laps you can make it on the it's definitely 9 laps on the soft tyres, so and that's on a soft to hard strategy, so I'm not sure why he wouldn't have pitted to go into the mediums like everyone else. He's really just exposing himself to an undercut to Gus at the moment, and Nicky does come into the pit lane now, so he maybe just thought he could have taken the tyres a little bit longer. That could save him some hurt later in the race. But we'll just have to see how it pans out for him as he now comes into the box. We'll have to see where he comes out in regards to Gus, as everyone else should be making pit stops except Enz, who started on those medium tyres.
Oh, it's going to be very, very close then. Enz is going to lead the way, but look how close it should be between Gus and Nicky. Nicky's out now, but I think Gus has got him. Oh, it's going to be close, but I think Gus takes the lead of this race on the medium tyres. Nicky opts for the soft then, so Nicky go in. Soft, medium, it looks like. Oh, Gus goes soft, medium, soft here. So, interestingly, a big strategy call there from Nicky, but he'll need to get past Gus and eventually Enz as well up ahead, wouldn't he?
Absolutely. Enz can go a little bit longer into the race than Nicky can on those tyres. So it will be a test when they catch up to him, how they will navigate around him. Of course, Enz, one of the only drivers yet to make pit stop, the others being, there's something happening behind. I think Aaron's now fighting with Zach Jarvis, and Zach Jarvis lost the position to the Mercedes car.
Oh, so Zach Jarvis actually jumped Aaron JS, and it seems like, by what looks like to be the overcut there. So Zach Jarvis originally actually got past Aaron JS, but Aaron JS, as you just said, has just passed him. There's a huge cluster of cars here in the midfield as Liam gets past Kingan, so he's fallen miles back from the others. But look at this then, Kingan moving to the inside then, is he thinking about it? Just pulls out in time. I don't know if that's affected Gaza there, who may have lost a piece of end plate there, but he didn't. He would like to clear Kingan really, but these guys are fighting now for track position. All have made a pit stop. Majestic comes in, which looks to be his second stopper today on 6th lap old medium. So I'm now questioning if he got wing damage somewhere, but there's no one really fighting him.
Gus now has moved into lead the Grand Prix, and that is crucial for him because it has put a car in between Gus and Nicky in the form of IDK Enz. So Gus is going to hope that Enz will hold Nicky up a little bit. You can already see he's lost quite a lot of time to the Alfa Romeo car, but now Nicky should be an easy move on the inside on the left-hand side of ends. That should be P2 for him, and he's going to get right back on track, so tracking down Gus.
Yeah, this is so important now for Nicky. He's opted to do the soft medium strategy, and you know how much slower those medium tyres should be to the soft tan tyres. So, unfortunately for Nicky, him still being stuck behind Gus is really disappointing, and he really needs to get by that Alfa Romeo driver if he really wants to think about winning, because he will have to defend for his life if he is behind him. And of course, if we do pit again, we'll see Nicky on the mediums, and we should see Gus on the softs. That will mean if this stays as it is right now, that Gus will just have to secure advantage over Nicky in terms of pace on those soft tyres. So, unfortunately for Nicky, he really needs to think about getting past very, very soon there. It's good that he's got past ends, but he needs to get it done on Gus. Is he thinking about it here? He moves to the inside, desperate lunge. Oh, it's close between them. I think a little bit of contact, but nothing too big. But Nicky does get the position into the lead, and now he needs to command and lead away from the Alfa Romeo behind. Failure to do so will surely mean that Gus will end up winning this race.
Gus's main objective at the moment is probably just going to be to ruin Nicky's tyres and make it so he has to pit a little bit earlier than normal. Of course, with that DRS, it will be helpful for Gus to stick in with him. This fight definitely isn't over. Nicky is not out of the water.
Oh yeah, and this fight is definitely not over either. Kingan coming back at Liam then. Liam already out of the ERS, so is Kingan. So both of them then fighting with the DRS advantage for Kingan. He goes to the inside, and that's a good move. And you know who's just loopholed it? It is Gazzaman over Stafferman, as someone says. Sorry, Gazstappen. I bottled that massively there. I am so sorry, but it is Gazstappen who has gone through Liam as well. So 2-in-1 there, and I'm pretty sure Gazzaman will be like, thank you for that, and hopefully he can now get past Kingan and get back on track to where catching up to his teammate.
Well, that was an opportunistic spot from Gaza there. Sorry for just that little bit of a cut in there, but good move from Gazzastappen.
Yeah. Can you not laugh at me, Austin, please? Like, I know it's probably the worst thing, but it was one of the two. And obviously it didn't go to plan, so just ignore me for when I said that. But yeah, we all make mistakes, don't we? But anyway, who knows? Jamie Met now trying to close in on Liam. Finished second place on track in his return to One Hub Racing. However, because of penalties, he ended up P4. He's got Liam 1-3, who ended up P4 last week. Wait, what? So hold on a minute. I've got something mixed up here. Wait, hold. Liam finished 5th, sorry, and Jamie finished 4th. I think originally it was actually the other way around, but that's probably what confused me. But yeah, Liam finished 5th and Jamie finished 4th. So very close on pace, it looks like, these two. But they're all in a train with this man leading it right now. Kingan leading the way. As you can see up front, Nicky is not getting away from Gus. There's a 9/10 gap. Is that just the sheer pace? Is that just the sheer pace of those soft medium tyres compared to the softs now? Or do you think that Gus has just been perfect on those mediums?
I think that it might just be Gus being really strong on those yellow wall tyres, because Nicky's still got about 5 laps left in those tyres. That is plenty of time to get a gap and then hit once again, probably onto the mediums later. But if he sees himself struggling with the tyres, he might not make it on the medium tyres, later to go to the end, and it could put him on the hards on a worse off strategy, and then give Gussie a tyre advantage later on. So Nicky might not be in the best position right now, but he's still putting away a little bit. Gus, though, reeling him back in on this long DRS straight. So it is going to be a test of time to see what happens in this Grand Prix meanwhile and gets by ends.
And as we can see here, it looks like we're going to see Kingan fighting with Gazzaman. Gazzaman going to the outside then. So Verstappen getting past another driver there, and now he'll be on to the chase for his teammate, who is Cloudy, up ahead 1.4 seconds behind Truth, as Liam's picked up a penalty. We haven't seen many of those been dished out, but Liam is the first one that I've seen in a while.
You nailed the Verstappen name this time. Good job.
Yeah, let's not bully me for that, of course. We all make mistakes, don't we? Look at that then. Liam behind Kengan at the moment. He's getting closer. Maybe getting ready to pull on a move on the exit here, but he's taking wider lines, suggesting that he wants to maximise his exits here. Enns comes into the pits on 10-lap-old medium tyres, so that gives some sort of hint to how long they can go. But Liam here trying to close in on Kingan. Kingan still staying in that DRS then. So he is 8 tenths behind still, and he's still trying to close. Jamie now right behind these guys as well. So this is going to be interesting then. All 4 of these guys fighting for position. Kingan has fell back, but he's still in the DRS, which is keeping him ahead. Liam and Jamie, though, will be definitely licking their lips in the future if it keeps going on like this. Gaz is just going to pull away from Kingan at this current point. And as you can see, Gus at the moment is still... He's quite close to Nicky, you know, so Nicky has really not benefited over those soft tyres. Perhaps it's just because he didn't get the job done in the first 2 or 3 laps.
Reaching lap 12 now. Nicky's still not getting away from Gus, and he's really running out of tyres. And he could be throwing away potential win here with this strategic gamble. Of course, sometimes you do have to make tough decisions. Oh, I've just watched Majestic get a penalty there. He's right on the back of Enns at the moment, but Nicky might be a little bit worried at the moment. Might be biting his nails as to how the rest of his race is going to pan out.
And yeah, Nicky may be a little bit scared then. On the 6-lap-old softs, he's got 7-lap-old mediums behind him in Gus, so obviously Nicky did seem significantly quicker in qualifying, but it seems to be something with the race, and that is Mackie who's gone at the back, I believe that's his name. So from what I can translate from the 413, but I'm not 100% sure. Is that someone else gone? There's a big cluster of cars here looking to get by. It does involve your AI, frankly, but it looks like Storm and Daco have got past him, so although your AI was involved, I don't think it caused too much trouble there, as Storm is a little bit flaky off the exit there and need to be careful not to spin the car. But however, Gus still closing in a little bit more on Nicky, and look at the ERS there, Daniel. Nicky's used it pretty much all up. Gus has just not used it, so Gus is just sitting in the DRS right now. So Nicky must be rather frustrated with this, and I wonder if he will pit this lap, try and go long with those medium tyres and try and get the most out of them. We'll see on this lap. Does he come in? No, he sticks out. So he hasn't got rid of Gus, but he will be looking to pit very soon, I reckon.
The medium tyres can last about 14 laps, so if Nicky were to pit on this lap, he can go to the end on a set of the yellow tyres, but that doesn't mean he will have some troubles. And with about 2 laps left on these with 2 laps left on these soft tyres before they completely go off the cliff, he's still got a little bit of a buffer. But once Gus goes onto his set of mediums, and then Nicky either the mediums or the hards, it will be quite a difference.
Well, yeah, and Gus 6 tenths behind then. He's not rushing to get past Nicky. However, he might do here. He's used a little bit more of his overtake than usual, but he's just not close enough to overtake him. But he's definitely getting closer to the Ferrari driver up ahead, and he could potentially benefit from Sector 3, I wonder. 7-lap-old softs, they have reached their maximum point. Gus is going for it. To the inside he goes, and there is the change of the race lead. Then Gus takes the lead from Nicky here, and Nicky then, the question is, will he have to wait for another week to win his first race in One Hub Racing? He's waited so long for it, and finishing runner-up in the championship last year, it always feels quite underwhelming when you didn't take a victory that season. For Nicky, he really, really needs this, but he hasn't got it. And here he goes, he does pit in this lap, so his medium stint when he goes onto it is going to be so important that he gets the gap on Gus. Then he should be quicker than Gus, since the medium tyres then would possibly still be in good range for Gus though. So interestingly, this could be a real big run to the line.
Well, this probably means that Gus can go longer and stretch out these medium tyres and go onto the softs. I think for Nicky at this point, the win could be off the cards. Of course, I don't know what will happen in this race. It's so unpredictable. But if I were Nicky, I'd think about, instead of chasing P1 and destroying the tyres, maybe trying to just conserve at P2. He's got a nice 10-second once Aaron pits to him, so he definitely has to protect P2 at all costs now.
And well, we could still get P1, like you said. Who knows? Be interesting if he was to do these next 3 laps where he should be closing in on Gus and there was a safety car that came out, but then again it would still be advantage to Gus. Just try and track him on these medium tyres now and see how much he closes in on Gus. He's already closing in quite a bit of time there, but he's lost also a bit here, being stuck behind Cloudy Balloons. So the traffic not doing Nicky a good deal. And let's see what he can do here. He moves to the inside, and it should be a nice easy move for the Ferrari. There we go. Is the Red Bull going to come back at him? No, he's not. He's going to just stick behind. And as we see Gazaman get a 3-second time penalty there, as he's in 7th place at the moment. There's a little bit of a gap now between him and his teammate. Cloudy losing a little bit of time to Nicky, but now Nicky has the free air a little bit until he gets up to Truth just ahead. Will he get the DRS? It looks like he will, and yes, he will there. So Nicky making moves. Cloudy Balloons into the pits then, so Cloudy thinking it's time to get off those medium tyres after 10 laps. Gusto stays out. This is his 10th lap on the medium tyres, so it'll be interesting to see whether he pits on to another set of mediums, I would assume there. And look at this then, an amazing slingshot off the exit there by Nicky, and he's got the move done on Truth there, nice and easy. Well, it should be nice and easy, and there we go. So Nicky making the moves desperately to catch up to Gus to make sure he doesn't get far away, but Gusto has a severe advantage out ahead of him because he's got so much overtake there to use. He's got so much ERS there.
So does that mean that once Gus comes into the pits, he's actually going to come out ahead of Nicky here? And the overcut would have worked for him.
I wonder, but of course we don't know if Gus is going on to the medium tyres or the soft. He's gone on 11 lap old mediums. They can go around 13 laps, but this is basically where the crossover point may potentially be starting. But we saw Cloudy Balloons come out. He came on another set of mediums here, so Nicky at the moment could potentially be in a good route if he can obviously keep where he is right now. So we just need to wait for Gus to pit or see if Nicky can close in enough so Gus cannot catch up on the softs.
You know what I'm quite pleased to see in this race? That we haven't had a single DNF. Even my AI car, he's just going around nice and calmly, and no one's crashed at all this race. I think we've had a couple spins, but they're bound to happen. Everyone seems to be being nice and careful in this race. And IGKNs has made up 6 positions on his strategy here. This is really impressive from him. He's got Cloudy Balloons and Truth and RP coming up behind him very shortly, so it's quite impressive from the task developer, of course, the great little telemetry analysis system that we use here, and we're all struggling with words today. I have to admit.
But yeah. And Gus pits for the 2nd time there. Now I do want to mention that N still does have to pit, but Gus does pit for the 2nd time then. So here we go, Daniel. We will be able to find out whether it was the right decision for Nicky to come in or go out, and what tyres will Gus pick then. Is it the mediums? It is the mediums. So looking at Nicky here, let's see what he can do then. Is he quicker or is he not? Gus now coming towards the exit. Nicky coming out the final corner then. And here we go. This is going to be very, very close, Daniel. Once again, There is Gus, and there's Nicky. Nicky's come out slightly behind. He'll be absolutely livid that he's not made his strategy work there. And he's now come out 9 tenths behind Gus, so unfortunately for Nicky, he'll have to play the chasing game.
Well, with these slightly colder tyres, of course, they haven't heated up. At this point, Nicky still has a little bit of a window to catch up. Probably in the third sector is when Gus's tyres are going to be fully up to temperature, so if he wants to make a move, he's got to do it as soon as possible. That ERS is still a factor. Nicky has under 10%, and Gus has 79%, and he's done so well. But hopefully my AI card doesn't get in the way of Gus here. It's going to go right through me. Lovely stuff.
Well, he may have changed. It may have changed the fact that Gus perhaps had DRS though. So I'm hoping that's not the case, because that could have been a race-winning moment there. Anyway, Gazaman then trying to close in on Kingen, down in 11th right now, but looking for that single point, which Kingen currently does have. And the Swedish driver is pulling away slightly from Gastappen, as they call him. Not Verstappen, man, no. As obviously you guys pointed out, I was completely wrong with that, but yep. Gastappen though, oh, he's got a brilliant exit out there. I didn't even notice that. And he's got a brilliant exit, and to the outside he goes with King, and got to be careful through here not to make too much contact. They don't. And it looks like Gazaman's got to the outside, but Kingen comes again to the inside here, side by side, still through the corner. Gaza gets the bare exit out of there. Gaza still going for Kingen to the inside again. They've been switching back 3 times, and a little bit of contact there and wheel banging. And that decides it then. Gaza into 10th place, Kingen into the 11th. But this is still not over here. This battle for the single point here, and it looks like it could be very close between these two. And now it'll be Kingen's turn to use the DRS, and hopefully the ERS as well. As we do have a spinner, it's Daco. And I wonder, he's out of this race. Are we going to see a safety car here, Daniel? So that could be interesting towards the end, couldn't it? Oh no.
It looks like he's retired the car on track, because you can see on the minimap that it's still moving along. So I'd hope that we don't see a safety car for that, because it's not safety car worthy. I don't think we're going to see one.
Yeah, I was just looking at King in there. He went a little wide, and that's kind of disrupted his car there, and Gazza's got away from him at this current point. I don't think he will close in this lap, but obviously we saw Gazza got an amazing exit out of the next 2 corners here, so Kingen will definitely need that. And let's see if he does get that. No, he doesn't. In fact, it was much worse, much cleaner for Gazza there, and Aaron GS finally pitting off the 14-lap-old medium tyres there. Gus setting the fastest lap, and look at that, Daniel. 2.6 seconds clear, and it's gaining as well. So Gus looking like he could be set for another dominant win here in One Up Racing in the Prospect tier. As you know, anything can happen, and it's not over until the final whistle, as they would say in football. But until the... Oh, we have a spinner there. That would be, I believe, Storm. Could be Kingen, but it's not. But we would say here it's not over till the checkered flag, of course. But as we can see, down to 7th place we go. The battle for 6th place between Cloudy and Ends. Ends still yet to make a stop here at the moment. And Cloudy, I believe, has made his 2 stops now. So Cloudy going to the end, and Ends is not. Aaron JS opting the soft tyres now, so he actually fell behind Zach Jarvis here. And we saw how much it lost Nicky in terms of time. It may have done the same for Aaron JS now, who's in 5th place, and he's not really gaining as much as perhaps he would have thought.
Well, this would actually be the fight for the final spot on the podium. Of course, Jamie Met yet to come into the pits for the 2nd time, but Aaron did a really good job to extend his stint along in this race, despite the fact that he lost a lot of time to Gus and actually did drop behind Zach. Having the better tyres and the fresher tyres later on in the Grand Prix will be a key factor in how he takes the fight to Zach Jarvis is now. Jamie Met comes into the pit lane, that unleashes the McLaren car into P3, and this will be the final, the fight for the final spot on the podium is now opening the DRS. He's got all of his ERS left as well, does Aaron Jess. He's not going to use it here. He's on path for the final sector. He is going to be rapid throughout the rest of this race, I think.
Yeah, he definitely will on those soft tyres. However, towards the end, they do fall off quite quickly. But look how much he's closing in on Zach Jarvis. The grip compared to him. And look how much he's able to brake so much later than Zach Jarvis. So much more grip on those soft tyres. And we'll just look onto the straight here. I reckon he will get past him here on the exit here. He may even get it before the DRS starts here, will he? Yes, he will. It looks like just about. And he'll have the DRS and Zach will not. So this is just not worth fighting for Zach at the moment. But if he can keep in range of Aaron JS, there will potentially be a chance at the end for the McLaren driver to pick up a podium. And let's not forget, penalties do exist in this game, and you can get penalties quite easily. And I reckon that one of these have probably picked up a penalty or two tonight, even though we haven't really seen it.
Well, crucially for Nicky, still in that 3-second window, the minimum penalty that the game gives you is 3 seconds for 3 track extensions. He's actually just about to drop out of that. But if Goff has a penalty and the race were to finish like this, then Nicky would win this Grand Prix, and now he has dropped out of the 3-second window, gets right back in it. They're playing a bit of a game of ping pong here as to the 3-second window. So Gus, again, as I said earlier, but for Nicky, he's not out of the water yet, he's not in the clear, and there's Aaron JS setting the fastest lap, and he's already pulled out a 2.3 second gap to Zach Jarvis.
Well, he's making sure that he's getting that podium tonight. Then it looks like, for now, of course. But of course, Zach Jarvis should be better towards the end of this race. But that's a hell of a gap that Aaron's got at the moment, and he's made worthwhile those soft tyres, it looks like, compared to Nicky perhaps. And Nicky did have a bit of traffic, so respect to him. But Aaron JS has just gone zoom in on those soft tyres as we see Jamie Met and Gazaman, two veterans of One Hub Racing, battling it out. And let's see if they will get on with a veteran sort of fight with all the respect in the world. Oh, and no, we won't get that because Gazaman loses the rear end of the exit of the corner. It's a very tricky corner to get through, and Gazaman loses the car there, so we will not get that veteran fight, unfortunately. And someone's gone funny through there. I'm not sure who that was, who was cutting corners. It may have been Indecisive, who is quite far behind, let's just say. But Ago not happy about that, unfortunately. And yeah, unfortunately for Gaza, he has lost the car in that corner, but he's gone quite far behind. But just wait for another battle. There's no real battles going on, but Gus remains 3 seconds clear.
Not many fights going on the track right now, but I don't really know what to talk about too much. We are actually coming to the dying phase of this Grand Prix, and do you think maybe Aaron JS, with 4 laps to go, could he struggle a little bit? And it is an outside chance because it's 6 seconds between the two, but do you think that Zach Jarvis could be in with a shout of a podium here?
Nah, I doubt it now, I'm afraid. I can't see that happening now. If I'm completely honest, I just need to check something quickly. Okay, no worries with that. That was just something really quick I needed to check, but no issues at the moment. But anyway, Aaron JS then, yeah, like you said, he could be struggling towards the end, but I don't think it'll be enough. And I think Zach Jarvis didn't really put on a fight, unfortunately, and well, he's lost that 4th place, and he's lost that 3rd place. He looks like he'll have to settle for 4th place. But as you can see, there's just so many gaps on this track. There's no battles going on track whatsoever, so it's quite a dull sort of ending to this Grand Prix, it looks like. But who knows what can happen at the end. Hopefully we can see a safety car, but yeah, it's quite a dull race towards the end, unfortunately. But I mean, it's France, isn't it? We've seen it in real life, and we see it on the game as well, so hopefully we can have a little bit of action towards the end, but at the moment it's not looking likely, Daniel.
No, they do appear to be pretty evenly matched in terms of pace, so it could be just another brilliant win from Gus. I really do have to give it to him. For the past 2 races, he has been showing that he is in with a shout of the championship. But I do just want to mention that the championship isn't everything, because we do have a little special championship that I forgot to mention last week. The Going Gets Tough championship, or just competition. If you finish outside the top 3 in your division, as well as do all your interviews and then attend every race, you can be in with a shout of winning a next level racing sim racing cockpit. So there's more details of that probably on the One Hub website. But thank you to Next Level Racing for providing that to us. Did I just disconnect there?
I don't know. Did you just disconnect there?
It just popped up on my screen saying controller connected, and I thought my controller would die.
No, your controller did not die. I heard you through all of it. I don't know what that was about then, if that was the case, but yeah, obviously sponsored by Next Level Racing, and obviously partnered with Liam13, who is obviously here tonight racing as well in One Hub Racing. He supplies One Hub with the trophies and helps fund them with the trophies and everything like that, and they also do have a mental health charity there as well, which all money that gets picked up through the sign-ups and any donations, it does go on to them, as of course with the cost of the trophies as well from One Hub Racing. So all the money definitely goes to a good cause and a good place. As actually Enz is closing in on Gazzaman right now, so Enz looking for his first points of the season. And well, like you said earlier, you said his strategy may have worked, and you know what, it may just have worked right there. As Enz right now in 10th place, he'll be happy going home with some points here tonight, and perhaps maybe more than one. With Gazzaman's mistake on the medium tyres, it's made them a bit worse than what they should be, and it's getting much more closer between the two of them, and maybe Enz could launch an attack on Gazzaman soon. And Enz maybe looking for the move in the next 2 laps, because he's got to in the next 2 laps. Otherwise, it's race over for it's the race over for him. So if he can get 9th place, that'd be brilliant for Enz. Not very good for Gazza though, who will slip a bit back there. A bit of an underwhelming race for the Red Bull team. Cloudy Balloons, so however, has done alright though in 5th place, having a decent race so far. Let's have a look though at that. Let's have a look at positions gained and positions lost then. So Cloudy Balloons has made up the most positions in this race, so fair play to Cloudy Balloons in the Red Bull, who looks to be a big contender for driver of the day. Perhaps Gus is also on that list again. And of course, perhaps we could even include, possibly include a few others. But I think Cloudy Balloons, and Gus is definitely the two. They're definitely the 2 big contenders for me.
I definitely do have to agree with you, but since I won't, because that would be quite boring, I'm gonna say that after his poor performance last week, finishing 9th, I think Nicky definitely is a contender from driver of the day. Despite not being able to keep up with Gus in this race, he set an amazing pole lap, and he has still managed to pull out a 15.8 second gap to Aaron JS, so I am nominating him as my own driver of the day.
Well, I will decide at the end of the race who I'll go with. It's between Gus and Cloudy for me. But I'll probably go with Gus really, as Enz has now got by Gazzaman, by the way. I just missed that, but he's got by, and well, that should be the final overtake of the day, it looks like, unless Storm overtakes your AI, but I mean that's not great at all because he could just ghost through him. So a little bit disappointing, and that's the only other real battle going on the track. Perhaps Gazzaman could close in on Enz. He's not losing time, but he's not gaining on Enz. Got to think the soft tyres now and the medium tyres are roughly equal here, so Gazza will definitely take that in mind, and he will be looking for the move here, but Enz is looking quite comfortable out ahead, but Gus now coming through sector 3. We'll have to just quickly go over to him. I think that's Storm who's gone round, so Storm's just not had a good race at all. But look at this then. Gus coming through the final few corners to take what should be a second French Grand Prix. Who knows? Penalties could play a part in it, but Gus does cross the line then. And on track, he's won quite convincingly again the French Grand Prix here in the Prospect here. It's 2 from 2 for the Swiss driver. What about Nicky? He finishes in second place there. So a nice return for Nicky, but he's still waiting to get on that top spot. And for third place, it looks like we will have Aaron JS crossing the line then in the Mercedes. That's a good show from him. And Gazaman did get by ends as well, so I missed that. I do apologise, but you have to just see the drivers crossing the line. And Zach Jarvis makes it across there now, and Cloudy Balloons will be entering the exit of the corner, and there we go. Crossing the line in 5th, Truth in 6th place. We've got yellow flags on the exit there. I'm not sure if that's actually official, but it's not. But look at that, Truth moving up to 5th place, and Cloudy Balloons getting penalties, putting him down to 6th place then on the grid. So on the over the finish line, Liam in 7th place, Jamie Met in 8th, Gazaman finishes 9th in the end ahead of Ends, who gets a valiant point in 10th place there. So that is your top 10 finishers. We just wait for Alex Lilia and Kingan to cross the line in 11th and 12th there.
Well, that was a really great race from my point of view, aside from the bit of a dull ending. I won't lie about it. We did have some battles from Gazastappen and then... I really didn't want to get that wrong.
Verstappen man, yes.
You know what, Gazastappen is what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. We just got to combine all of it. Oh, well,
Ends. Driver of the day.
Okay, well, the game picks Ends. I picked Cloudy and you picked Nicky, so that's interesting. I want to see why Ends got driver of the day, if I'm honest, because I'm pretty sure Cloudy had a really good performance. He had a brilliant start, Cloudy did, moving up 4 positions from the start there, but Ends picks up driver of the day from the game. But from me, it's Cloudy, and from Daniel, it's Nicky, I believe. So there are our driver of the day. The game thinks differently, but we've got to move on to something else now, which we forgot to do last week, and that is a question for our driver of the day. So I'll go first with Cloudy's one, and well, typically for me, it's just like, you know, the race just seemed a bit dull for the majority of it. But how do you reckon that the race went for you, considering you made up all the positions? So that is my simple question. He did move down to 6th, which may have interfered with that, but that would be my question, simply put, for that. And what is your question for your driver today?
Well, unfortunately for Nicky, he wasn't able to get the win, but it was a great drive from you nonetheless. So my question for you is, at any point, did you think that you were able to catch up to Gus and maybe snatch the win? And how are you feeling with this podium position? How are you feeling going into next week?
Okay, then, and now we do the rundown quickly before we end the stream of the top 10. So Gus winning this race, Nicky finishing in 2nd, Aaron GS taking 3rd place, Zach Jarvis 4th, Truth NRP in 5th, Cloudy Balloon 6th, Liam 1-3 in 7th, Jamie Met 8th, Gazaman 9th, and Ends finishes in 10th position. So with that, we will have to end the stream here, as we are now come to a climax of this. But next week we will be back again in Belgium, so that should be an interesting race for all these drivers. The longest track on the F1 calendar, of course. But yeah, for me and Daniel, it's good night.